The contacts download is starting.
Our cars can collect a lot of data about us. Where we've been, where we're going,
Daniela said, "Hey Jen."
who we're messaging,
I'm not too far away.
what we say,
Play the podcast I was listening to earlier.
what we listen to.
Modern car is really a computer with a motor more than it is a car.
And now with Chinese EVs poised to hit Canadian roads, there are concerns about cybersecurity.
China wants these electric vehicles to be roving surveillance operations on our streets.
I'm concerned about cybersecurity and the threat of China.
So how seriously should we take these concerns? I asked a bunch of experts and here's what I found. First of all, experts say most drivers today should be worried about privacy, even if they don't drive a Chinese EV. Cars these days can access information like your name, your address, your credit card information. American nonprofit Mozilla Foundation researched 25 European, American, Japanese, and Korean car brands back in 2023. They found cars are the worst product category they have ever reviewed when it comes to privacy.
Every car is constantly connected, just like your phone is now, reporting its location and its speed and its braking and all kinds of information from hundreds of sensors and cameras all over the vehicle, and most of that information is being collected by the manufacturers.
The Mozilla Foundation also found most companies then sold that data because that information is really valuable.
The privacy invasion here is very, very profitable for the auto companies to sell that information to advertisers, to use that information to improve their products to get a competitive edge.
So data privacy appears to be a problem for most cars, not just Chinese EVs. So the question then is, will Chinese EVs pose more of a threat?
It takes on a different aspect when we consider the geopolitics of China.
Which leads us to takeaway number 2. Experts do have some real concerns about the data Chinese car manufacturers can collect because of that country's national security law.
Which basically states that any Chinese company is obliged to help the Chinese state when asked. So, for example, if a company has a large amounts of data about Canadians, it will be required to turn that data over.
And China has been accused of tampering with technology it's exported to countries like the US in the past, says the former head of the Asia-Pacific division of CSIS.
Major ports in the US have a Chinese equipment. Well, they discovered hidden in the mechanism a system that is capable to transmit and to capture data.
A U.S. congressional probe found that not only could that data be collected, the equipment hidden in the cranes could also bypass firewalls and could potentially disrupt port operations.
And further to that point, public transport operators in Norway had to beef up security requirements after they realized their Chinese-made EV buses could be remotely turned off by the manufacturer.
Then there's also the fact that China has a troubling history of foreign interference in Canada. In 2025, CSIS called China the most active state conducting foreign interference activities in this country.
When it comes to national security, we need to be much more now attentive. Who we do business with, who we invite into our house, and keep watching.
In Australia, which already has a lot of Chinese-manufactured EVs on the road, the minister responsible for cybersecurity had to take precautions inside his own Chinese-made EV, like not discussing sensitive information inside the car.
There are national security analysts and others in Australia who are calling for a more proactive approach to mitigating those concerns about Chinese-made EVs in Australia.
All that being said, the experts I spoke with said, though they do have some concerns about these cars, they're more concerned about other ways China gets data from us. Which leads us to takeaway number 3. There are so many ways that countries like China can gather data about Canadians.
China doesn't need EVs to spy on us. They're spying on us right now. They have everything they need. So many Canadians use TikTok. A lot of our, everyday devices are made in China.
Not to mention, foreign governments and agents can also legally buy a lot of the data they're looking for from third-party vendors. But that doesn't mean that we should be resigned to the idea of our data being collected and shared, say experts, when it comes to all technologies, including the Chinese EVs coming our way.
I would hope that the security officials would be looking at them and trying to understand which data is being collected, how it's being used, and if it's being sent overseas. This is something that, we are well set up to do with our national security agencies. But the broader issue really is about, how accessible our data is overall.
Evaluating those risks and benefits should also come with the realization the allies that we trusted, that we depended on, may not be so reliable anymore. And experts say that means we should approach everything that can collect data about us with more scrutiny than we have in the past.
All technology that collects data about our daily life, our spending habits, our personal information should be treated with cautions.
And when it comes to EVs, there are ways to mitigate the risk.
Maybe we allow American and Chinese companies to collect this data, but it must be held, processed, and managed by Canadians, where we can ensure it's not being sent to third parties for processing.